Happy Sunday, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to be taking you through my plan to achieve a $20 million net worth by the end of 2025 and show you exactly the plan that I've outlaid for myself. And first, I'm going to be starting at the lowest portion of my net worth, which is a restaurant investment, which I currently am part of. I joined in as an angel investor. Right now, the restaurant and its value itself is at 1.2 million, which makes it the first entry part of my net worth here into this outline I'm going to be sharing with you today. And the restaurant is called Grata. It's based in Amsterdam, and currently it's 1.2 million. This is on the basis of an offer we got from an investor 2 months ago to take over the location, the permits, the equipment, and many other things. And me and the business owner had a discussion, and we project with the growth that's ahead, the expansions that are going to be taking place in terms of having a terrace, for example, and also just the concept in itself that should be at a 1.8 million net worth realistically. I never like to inflate numbers. It's always based on real conversations and numbers that I have with the people that I've invested into, or certain assets I'm invested into, like stocks. Obviously, this is an angel investment, so this is done by looking at the numbers, looking at the assets, real offers we're getting on the table, and that's therefore the lowest starting point that I have in my net worth growth journey. So if we wanted to sell it, it's not the intention, but it's part of my net worth because we do want to expand later on, but I'm going to keep this brief. And so this is the first tick of my net worth that is planning on growing like that in the year of 2025. Now, second, I have my stocks. And right now, my stocks have went from 1.7 to 1.8 so far. And I project this is going to be, with the stocks I'm invested into, to grow at least 50%, which would imply to take 50% of 1.7 million, that is $850,000. That would basically be some quick maths here. I'm gonna grab the little towel here. I'm gonna put the number right here. So that will be 2.55. 5. Yeah. So another growth that I project, because look, again, it's not like I have a demo account. If you guys have seen my $8 million investment portfolio, you can see the stocks I'm actually in. I'm in Reddit, 200K. I'm in Tesla, 200K. I'm in SoFi, 200K, and Nvidia, 200K. And then I'm invested for $1 million into the Nasdaq, S&P, and MSCI. So those are the stocks that I'm currently in, and this percentage is derived from the projections that I've studied and researched on, and where I believe these stocks will be going and taking me by the end of 2025. So this too is a growth of if you combine everything together, about 1.4 million into my net worth, right? So you basically want to look at this. Now, number 3, that's going to be my coaching business. And what does coaching do? It gives you cash flow. Cash flow so you can keep a certain buffer on the bank. Cash flow so you can invest into stocks, or you can do angel investing. But for myself, what I have on the bank right now, I have 1.5, and I plan to make around 2M with how it's actually going in practice, okay, on top of my 1.5, which would imply that the total number would be 3.5. Let me just change that. So 3.5. So that is the third component. So if we count everything up so far, it's 1.8, 2. We'll round it up to 6. So that is 4.4, 4.4 plus 3.5 puts you at 7.9 million, right? Now, we're still 12 million off from the net worth goal. So, my biggest one, and I don't want to say the company name. If you follow my stuff, you know which company this is, but I don't want to, with this particular company, be sharing very intricate and private details about the valuation and other specific things. But what I will say is that this is a SaaS company, which I have first invested. What I have in seed round shares is 315K. For the seed round shares, that's what I have. And what I got from this is 44113 shares. Okay? And basically, just so I can take you through this as logically as possible, each share, if you divide the four is kind of ugly, but if you divide this by each other, you're going to get basically if you divide the seed round share value investment by the shares you got, I basically got 7.14 per share, right? Per share. Now, looking at this, and I'm just going to remove the word shares here. Right now, the valuation of the company is around 1.2 billion. So, the way you calculate the value of your investment, and of course there's dilution, right? But I'm not taking that into account just so I can keep this as simple as possible. And look, the 1.2 billion valuation is not speculation. I've directly asked the CEO what the valuation currently of the company is, right? So it's 1.2 billion, so 7.14 times 12 equates 86, right? So right now it's my shares times 86 per share equates to about, if I do the math, I think it was top of my head around 4 million. I think it was 3.9 million. So that is the current, right? 3.9. Now, I know the company to a certain limit on how they're doing because I'm an investor and I can ask the CEO directly for information. And by the end of the year, the projection is that they're going to be worth around 4 to 5 billion. Now, let's say they would be worth, and I'm taking the high end here, right? 5 billion by the end of this year. That would imply that you do this, well, not directly times 5 because it took 1.2, but if you take a 5 billion times, so 7.14 times 50, that gives you around 357 per share. So then we basically take the new formula here, which would imply that if I remove the 86 right here times 357 equates around 12.9 million, right? So this is basically, if you count everything up, 7.9, and then here you'd be basically looking at around 20 million in net worth. So this is my plan for 2025. Last thing I'll add is that I want to give you people advice. If you're a coach, consultant, you have cash flow. If I could give myself advice back in the time, it would be to get into rooms and into networks with people that are reputable, that are at a high level, so you can get into opportunities like this. Because I was first part of this person's mastermind, and that's how I came about getting the opportunity to invest into the company. Stocks, I learned that from one of my clients actually. If you guys don't know, I help coaches and consultants scale, and right now I've made 100 grand just by allocating my cash to the assets and companies that I believe in with research and a long-term time horizon. right? Grazia, this was an investment that I made because it's actually my first agency client came to me with a proposal, and I just had too much cash sitting in the bank that I took the leap of faith to do this. And fortunately, we have gotten an offer, and the company is doing well revenue wise too, and profitability wise too. But as you guys may or may not know, like restaurants are quite heavy in investments that are required from time to time to keep it afloat, to keep innovating, to keep expanding, and to hit your targets, to make a certain amount of profit. Now, my advice to you is this: start simple. I would get into stocks, go into index funds, and just allocate a percentage. You can see exactly if you just do some quick math here. It's about 15% of my net worth I have in cash, right? Now, if you want to go into a lesson I've learned, into the tens and tens of millions or hundreds of millions, you play a different game, right? You go into a chapter of illiquidity and taking risks and waiting and making sure you're staying up to date on companies and make sure they are nothing you can really do to make sure they are progressive, but make sure you're monitoring their progression so you can make sure you are growing. And it's a different game. Personally, I find the coaching space so many amazing people in here, but it's also very limited in thinking because investing is so different and the world is so much bigger when you actually take a look outside of it. So with that being said, if I had to just give some simple advice, get into stocks, wait for opportunities to come, stack your cash, and when the right opportunity comes and you believe in it, take the risk. That's what I would say. But again, not financial advice, okay? Because I'm not allowed to give financial advice technically. So yeah, guys, that's my plan for 2025. Lastly, I'm also working on a AI service, which I'm gonna keep low key for now, but that will be maybe included in a future video because my goal is not to just hit 20 million, it's to hit 100 million, not because of the money, but because I want to get into hard challenges so I can be challenged and I can become a better entrepreneur, a better person, and go through new hardships. Because I don't try to prevent hardships and delve into comfort. Once I make some money, I always want to be on the outlook for more growth, not just in the coaching space, but in various spaces and keep people going. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.